Hello Kitaholic Kits fans, it's Ames here with my second share for this month. For the lovely month of June, I should say. And this video is going to be a bit longer one than normal. I've got sort of merged two things in here at once. So first up, I'm going to make a couple of DIY embellishments using some of the kit here. I'm working with the main kit, so I've got the papers, the Heidi Swap ephemera pack, as well as the exclusives die cuts that we get as well. So, and I do pull in, I think, some things from the last month's kit, maybe, or some kits before. I can't remember, but yes. And then I use some of these DIY embellishments to do a layout. So I sort of wanted to combine the two because I don't know about anyone else, but when you make DIY embellishments, sometimes they just sort of sit in a pile. I still have some that I made in a live scrap thing I did with you guys here on the Kitaholic Kits channel ages ago, and so yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, so doing DIY embellishments is not something I do very well. I don't think so. So I am trying to do them. Plus, our fearless leader, Steph, gave this as an assignment for me for this month. So I thought I'd give it a crack. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to try and find some things that could be a bit of a base for my embellishments. So like larger pieces of ephemera. There wasn't a great deal of those, unfortunately, like big ones, crepe paper, huge embellishment size type, ones. So I sort of, just sort of went with it. So this is my first one. So remember this journal tag that was or journal piece that was in the Heidi Swap pack. And then I had fussy cut some flowers from one of the pattern papers as well. And then, which you would have seen me doing when I was babbling on at the beginning. And then I added a little phrase piece from one of the exclusives that we get. And that was the first one of my embellishments. Now, this is sped up really fast and the video is edited. It did take me a while to do these just because, as I said, it takes me a bit to think about how I'm going to place everything, and I don't know why, but I don't know about anyone else, but hands up for anyone who struggles making their own embellishments. Like this, I can sort of probably chuck them together maybe when I'm making a layout, but not beforehand. I think because I need to see what I'm working with. So I did have a photo planned for the layout. And then I changed it, which probably didn't help. So I didn't have anything other than that plan, so that probably made it a bit trickier. But yes, so I tried to make a few different ones here. So I've got a big one as my first one, and then I'm making a smaller one using one of the label pieces as the base, forming the sort of first piece of the embellishment, and then trying to add some smaller bits and pieces from the sticker sheet that we got in the main kit, as well as, again, the exclusives. I was trying to use a mix and match of sort of everything that we have gotten, so you could see how all of the product that was in the kit could be used. So, and I kind of tried sticking to a bit of a theme because I do want to use them. Like the exclusives were very sort of family things and stuff like that. So I was trying to keep with that because some photos I want to get scrapped and into an album, hopefully over this long weekend, for my nephew and their family ones. So I'm trying to get them finished up. All right, so next up I decided, all right, let's pull out some ponchos. So I don't have a lot of those, but I do have my silhouette now, and I also have a diamond press die cutting tool thingy. I don't think you call it a machine. I say it all the time. But yeah, you'll see it come out shortly. So I punched this heart using my punch that you saw. And this one was really easy to make. I really liked this one. It was cute, and this one makes it onto the layout. I think 3 or 4 make it onto my layout. And so I just used one of the pattern papers. The happy came from the exclusives, and so did that together. And I just used my little Tombow glue there to stick it down. basically that was easier to sort of reach for. And I use my stapler a little bit too. I do hate that my stapler is not like a tiny attacher because the staples are really big. I discovered they're not as small as the tiny attacher, but is what it is. All right, playing around. I did have some YouTube playing in the background. I was trying to catch up on my YouTube because I haven't been able to. I've not scrapped in over a week. I haven't touched my craft desk in over a week. I've been so flat out with work and whatnot that I just haven't even got to there. So I was so excited to sit down and do this today. It is Saturday here in Oz. It has been freezing cold. So I got in and, did the usual Saturday morning chores, and then we hung out, and then I got some scrapping time done. Now doing this, and then I'm going to go back to it. So pretty excited. And it's the Queen's birthday long weekend for us here in Australia, so it makes it even more exciting. But yeah. All right, so now this little bag here has all of my little metal dies for my diamond press. Now, this came out like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's basically, you'll see in a minute, it's that little pink and white thing that's sitting to the side, and it's just a little manual like die cutting machine is the best way to put it. It doesn't fit big dies or anything like that, so I did contemplate getting another bigger die cutter, and then I got the Silhouette Cameo, and it does its job, so I don't really worry too much. Obviously the diamond press is really good because it's small and it's, can move around a bit easier than carding the Cameo, but I don't use it as much as I probably should, or could, I guess. But it was perfect for making some of my own embellishments. This one had me stuck. I knew I wanted to have a banner because I thought I always use banners in my scrapbooking. I like, when I get them, I always pop them on the corners of things, and that's just my thing. So I thought, this would be really good to use. And this leaf kept sticking. It kept popping out. I think it had come off, and I do change it, you might notice, and because I threw the other one out because it wouldn't stick properly. So I put this one on, and then this currently happening. And I like how that looks. One of the things when you look at this kit, it is very, it's got those greys and dark blues and blacks kind of theme. So a lot of the embellishments, as you can see, are going to be dark. So I really did make the conscious decision to make sure that a lot of my base things that if I was making anything from the base, so for the base of the embellishment, was lighter colours. So if I used the pattern papers, it might have been a bit lighter, or something like that, and then that way when I layered the pieces on top of it, it sort of didn't all just mesh into one thing. It sort of stuck out a little bit more. Everything was a bit more defined. I really wanted to use, so in the Heidi Swap pack, there is these pieces that say, like, be brave, stand tall, and I really wanted to use them, but I just couldn't figure out a way to use them, if that makes sense. So they don't make it to an embellishment, but spoiler alert, it does make it to my layout, so I was really happy with that. I really liked the way I did this one. So one of the things I did do is the sticker sheet that we got had a whole heap of labels. You can see it to the right of me there, label stickers. So to stop obviously the sticker sticking, I just cut around it off the sheet so the backing stays on, so that when I'm ready to use it, I just peel the backing off and stick it down. So I really liked this one. I thought this is going to be great to use as a little like a little tag. You could use it on a 4x6 journaling card for Project Life, all those sorts of things. So yeah, I thought it was quite simple. I really wanted to use this tag from the ephemera pack, but I just couldn't. Just wouldn't happen. I keep moving my feet on my chair here. Sorry, guys. Oh, where have I gone? To find more paper. I really reluctantly cut into some of these pattern papers because I was like, how am I going to use them? Because they're just really beautiful. So this one's the Wolfpack pattern paper. And some of the others I think were Emerson Lane. Yeah. I mean, if you have the kit, you'll be able to know. If you're stumbling across this channel, and yeah, so we're the Kitaholic Kits team from the aptly named shop. And this is our June kit, which has the Heidi Swap, Emerson Lane, and Wolf Pack collections in it. Majority is the Wolf Pack collection, which is really quite scrummy. I quite like it, actually. I am having a little bit of trouble using the pieces because we're not sort of outdoorsy, campy type people. But again, I think you can just make them work. I think with anything, with any embellishments, you can just sort of slot them in and sort of make them work. And that's somewhat what I did here with these, making these embellishment pieces, was just trying to make them work. So as you can see, I kept a bit in so you could see me playing around with different things and how you can see how different elements may or may not work together. Yeah. Because some people are really good at with making their own embellishments, and sometimes you may be like me and maybe not as good, but yeah, we've all got to try something. And I used, I did do some doodly borders on some of the embellishments just to ground them a little bit, especially with the lighter backgrounds. And I did do one where I used my white pen just to give it a bit of extra pop as well. I think it's one of the last ones. It might be this one, actually, because I'm using the hot air balloon. I got this die, I think I got it as a gift or something, I think, from memory. And it fits perfectly through my little diamond press there, which is really good. As you can see, the diamond press is small, so you can't fit all the big dies in it, so I have to be really careful if I'm buying any. This really stumped me. I really wanted to use the hot air balloon, and I really wanted to use it with that tag. Could not figure out how. And then so I was stuck as to how I was going to get this as an embellishment sort of cluster piece. That'd be right. I got to do a voiceover and all of a sudden my voice decides to get all croaky on me. Sorry for the coughing. Alright, I reached for the labels again. I thought there was so many labels on this sticker sheet. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to use all of these, but I probably will because I was desperately looking for some not so long ago. And I go with, yeah, this. I think I go with this circular piece, actually. And thinking, finding another piece. So this is a, not acetate, what is it, vellum piece from the Heidi Swap pack. Something about traveling and going away. Pop that on there using my glue, which you may see in the close-up, it does get a little bit wrinkly. I really was trying to use a bit of these word thickers as well. I just because they're got that little bit of a 3D element to it, they would give that little bit of obviously 3D-ness to the embellishments. I didn't get to use a lot of them, but that's cool. I know sometimes you can add different textures and those sorts of things to your embellishments. I like to keep mine. Well, no, I don't do it very often. So I had kept mine fairly simple, just because I'm really conscious at the moment of taking up big chunks of room in my albums. I've got an ever-growing collection of albums, and they'll never stop, but I need room to put them. So I'm really careful how chunked up I make my pages. All right, so that was the last of the DIY embellishments. I only made probably about 5 or 6 of them, and then I thought I'm going to make a layout instead of just ending it there. I thought I will use some of these, show you how these can be used in action. So what I did was, and I must have not finished I didn't get my camera going again. straight away. So I have cut down 3 pieces of pattern paper. I don't know exactly the size. And as you can see, lined them in strips there across the white cardstock as the background. Then I got one of the Katie Mixed Media stencils that we got last year in kits, and just put some texture paste through it just to give it a little bit more interest and texture on the background as well. Just because I felt it looked, whilst there's those beautiful pattern papers there, it still looked very plain with the dark as well. And I went with the circles because the photo is actually a family photo of our kids at Easter last year. So I kind of thought, circles, Easter eggs, they're good with the theme things. Why not? I don't know. I was just drawn to the circles. It was popping out to me, I guess. I had my stencil sheets. And I did a really simple white cardstock border around my photo just to give it a little frame and just to give it a little bit of extra definition away from the background papers as well. So you can see that texture paste there. You can see the 3 strips of pattern paper I've laid across my white cardstock. Just enough to add a little bit of extra interest, that texture paste, without overtaking the actual patterns on the pattern paper, which was what I was going for. Now I give my photo a bit of extra oomph by putting it up on some craft foam as well. I thought that just being... I find it a bit challenging because I didn't actually have any, not challenging, but just thought processes, I guess. There was no pattern paper in the background of this photo, so I was like, it needs something behind it. So I put my craft foam, although I pretty much always put craft foam, I guess. So just popping that there. Originally I was going to place it just on the white, but then I sort of decided... changed my mind and went with, I liked the idea of it sort of being left-hand side heavy kind of thing. I'm not sure why, it was just what the mood struck me as with the photo. So first up, I decided to then lay all my DIY embellishments that I want to use out, so you can see what I'm going to use first up. And they were really easy to decide on because... I guess because when I made them, I had a bit of an idea in my head, theme in my head of, what sort of layouts they would be used on. And this layout was really easy to put together. I don't know why, but it was really. I found it really easy just to, once I decided how I was going to do the background with the 3 bits of pattern paper, it just went together really easily, actually. Just popping some journaling on my little journaling card there. Could have swore I edited this bit out. Anyway. Yep, there we go. Alright, and now I am going to play around with some more embellishing because I was thinking about leaving it really simple, but that white side was driving me nuts. So it needed something, or the layout in general needed more. So I did manage to put one of those stand tall, I think it says, deer on there. I just did because I really like it. And being family, stand tall with your family, those sorts of things. This is an acetate piece from the Heidi Swap pack, as well as a little star banner piece from our exclusives. Excuse me. So I just build little clusters really around some of these embellishments, the ones that I made. And I felt that there needed to be more. Oh no, I popped this sticker down under here. Felt there did need to be more up on that white side, and I think I do add a little, oh maybe I had my title, I'm not sure. So I sort of fiddle around a bit, yeah, so I come back to this side. See, I wasn't sure about this side being, it looked too white or too empty. I think maybe because of the 3 bits of pattern paper and their larger strips, it just looked a bit empty, I don't know. It wasn't, something just didn't feel right or look right. So I do that piece here, and that makes kind of like a sort of dribbling cluster kind of down that right side there where the journaling square is as well, tag is. Sorry. Now I do attempt a really fancy title, which you might see me do. Where have I gone? Coming up. Oh, here, finding these. Which these are the alphas from last month, but it didn't work. It didn't look right. The colours didn't match. I didn't have the right lettering in the right sizes and fonts and blah, blah, blah. So I just went, okay, I need to find something else. So I decided to use what I had from this month, and it's called Sweet Love. And that will do. That's my title. I couldn't remember if I actually put a title before I started editing this video. Can never seem to get these straight, ever. Drives me bonkers. And I think I'm just about finished here, guys. I do have a heap of close-ups at the end, but I did just realise I didn't put any close-ups of all of the embellishments that I made. If you do want to see those, let me know and I will pop up a photo. But otherwise, I do sprinkle some... Oh, no, I had this. See, this is where I thought that top bit there just looked like it wasn't balanced with the rest of the page and it needed something. So this heart, which I think is a Charms Creation ones possibly that came in the kit, I decided to put on there just to finish that side off, that white cardstock side off. Now I think I sprinkle some of my Kaisercraft gold ink. And that just adds a little bit more there. I really like the way that looks on that dark blue background paper. And then that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this project, the DIY embellishments, some of those, as well as the layout. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe to the channel for more of our design team goodness. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye now.